Hello and welcome to Brave Beaters. Today I am excited to present you the Tissot heritage navigator, the Orient Arrow, Le Fleche d'Orient or Sageata Orientului, a watch that has strong connections with my hometown Bucharest. So we are looking at a limited edition watch made by Albini Prassa with Tissot that celebrates 100 years since the Franco Romanian Association made possible the first commercial flight. So let's jump into the story. Le Fleche d'Orient was born in 1920, when a French banker, a Romanian diplomat and a pilot came up with the idea to create an aerial route that follows the same routes as the Orient Express, linking Paris to Constantinople. So this is how the Franco Romanian Association was created. And slowly but safe, the utility of the military aircrafts from World War I was changed to cargo, mail and people transportation. And as a standard, a flight from Paris to Bucharest lasted in general around 22 hours, but it was 3 times faster than the Orient Express. And even from the beginning, the Franco-Romanian company made possible night commercial flights. The pilots, besides having a compass or a map as reference, had also as guidance lighting markers throughout their routes to make the flights safer and more accurate. And across time you can imagine how the air routes developed. So the Tissot Navigator Fleche d'Orient, made by Albini Prassa, celebrates 100 years since the foundation of the Franco-Romanian Air Transport Company. And this is a watch inspired by the spirit of adventure and exploration of the aviation pioneers. The watch featuring Bucharest on the dial, representing the GMT+2 time zone, an important city that connected Paris to Istanbul. And I strongly recommend you to take a look at the Microsite, which was tailored specifically for this story. It is a good read and provides lots of interesting details. The special edition, besides having a dedicated microsite, a video and a book, Le Fleche d'Orient has a mini museum containing dedicated objects, medals and books that sustain the story of the Franco-Romanian alliance. So I will leave the link to the microsite in the comment section, plus the video and the link to the Albini Prassa website. So as me Andre, I am excited to meet the people behind the Albini Prassa company, watch enthusiasts that put a lot of passion in what they do. They believe in the culture and the heritage of our country, choosing to celebrate important moments by creating special edition watches with the help of important Swiss watchmakers such as Tissot. So most likely you will see future collaborations and reviews coming from Albini Prassa and Brave Beaters. And brand-wise, I feel that lately Tissot is gaining popularity throughout the enthusiasts. I see the brand present on social media very often. The PRX definitely had a positive impact on the market. However, Tissot has a rich history and a lot of models to be resurrected, and that is a fact. And today it is the case. We are looking at the Tissot Heritage Navigator, a reissue of their famous Navigator World Timer from 1953. And I am glad that the actual Heritage Navigator follows the vintage lines and the dial identity of the older piece, excepting for the size and the crown at 1 o'clock. And as first thoughts, I am impressed by the amount of storytelling and meaning added to complete the identity of this watch. So this Tissot, made by Albini Prassa, comes on a complex packaging, I would say, the most complex I've ever seen, and every item is branded in the spirit of the story, starting from the sleeve of the box to the magnifier and the travel pouch. The watch comes on a Tissot wooden box alongside an extra crocodile strap. There is also a leather box, branded with the embossed logo of the Franco-Romanian Association and the Albini Prassa brand. Inside we can find the COSC certificate, the magnifier and the cloth branded with Tissot. And as extra to the extras, there is also a book covering the detailed story of Le Fleche d'Orient. So this is very cool. In general, as you know, I'm using different objects and materials next to the watches to compose different shooting scenes. But in this case, the Tissot Navigator, provided by Albini Prassa, comes with extra goodies in the same tone of the watch that can be easily matched on photo and video shootings. And identity-wise, as a case is definitely different than the profile of the watches that I'm used with. It is an elegant case, wide and really thin, and the consistent pattern throughout the entire dial feels like an iris. And on top of this, we have the world timer complication, placed as a central dial disc, a thing that you don't see very often. And getting into general specifications, we are looking at a stainless steel case with a diameter of 43 mm, with a thickness of only 9.6 mm, a lug-to-lug distance of 51 mm and a 22 mm lug width. The heart of this world timer is equipped with a COSC certified movement, the ETA 2893-3, featuring a GMT complication and a power reserve of 42 hours. In depth, the case unveils two types of finishes. On top we have a beautiful fully polished bezel interrupted at every 20 minutes by the Arabic engraved numerals. An interesting fact, on the GMT complication watches, the hour minutes are inside of the dial, where the 24-hour GMT hours are placed on the bezel. But in this case it is the opposite. The 24 hours GMT numerals are placed inside, sustaining the world timer markers, specific for every region. And here you will spot, besides the exotic reduced profile of the case, that the lugs do not arch too much towards the wrist. They remain consistent with the flat appearance of the case. And as a contradiction to the front case, the entire side is finished in a vertical brush pattern, again something that you don't see too often. And at 3 o'clock we have a small crown signed by the brand. At the regular position we have the winding feature, and when we pull out the crown, at the first step we have the GMT function, and at the second step there is the regular hour setting. And tied up to the settings feature, the back of the watch unveils us a beautiful view, a see-through case back outlined by a polished ring with Sageata Orientului engravings and the propellers that celebrate the historical facts. There is also a beautiful illustration of the passenger plane and the route to the Fleche d'Orient. Movement-wise, I like a lot the gold accent provided by the decorated rotor and the chronometer label that ensures -4 to +6 seconds per day. And moving to the dial as overall impressions, the world timer dial unveils a distinct personality. Tissot here choose to apply the function first approach, and we experience a priority for the time zone feature rather than display the brand in the center, or specify the COSC certified competences. So because of its perfect concentric symmetry, the dial feels to look more like an iris, placing the vintage Tissot logo discreetly on the bottom of the dial. The GMT function allows the user to set the time based on its time zone and find quickly the exact hour or other geographical areas or continents displayed on the dial. And because this Tissot heritage navigator pays homage to the Orient arrow, you will spot a highlight on the Paris-Bucharest-Istanbul time zone, which represents the route of the flight insured by the Franco Romanian Association. So yes, no matter where you'll be in the world, with this watch you will always know what's the time at the Brave Beaters HQ. And again, Le Fleche d'Orient or Sageata Orientului means the Orient arrow, and definitely this motif is represented by the seconds hand. We can spot the dominant red accent of the arrow, shared across the dial with the time zone wheel and the minute markers. The hour and the minute Dauphin hands are following the cased polished finish, being able to communicate chromatically with the metallic Arabic numerals and the arrow accents from the margins. And yes, we have lume added to this complex dial. We have some lumed stripes on the Dauphin hands. We also have a lumed dot at every cardinal point at 3, 6 and 9, except for 12 o'clock that contains 2 dots, assuming that you know why. So this Tissot Navigator, made by Albini Prassa, comes on a black leather strap with red stitchings and an extra crocodile strap, both featuring quick removal spring bars and butterfly clasps, succeeding to complement the dressy aspect of the watch. And from the fitment perspective, both straps are flexible, providing a comfortable experience on the wrist. Which leads to the how it wears point. On my 7-inch wrist, or 17 cm in circumference, the Navigator sits well, and even though it has a wide appearance of 43 mm in diameter, it sits very close, let's say, to the wrist. Overall, because it is thin, it can slide very well under the cuff. And because of the reduced weight, you won't feel the watch while wearing it. The piece itself has a practical functionality with a refined look, and it can be worn on a wide range of outfits, from a polo shirt with jeans to a business casual outfit, even a suit. And from the availability perspective, you can find the watch to purchase at Albini Prassa website. Don't be scared by the fact that it is translated in Romanian or displayed in Romanian currency. They provide international shipping, and the watch cost is around 1,500 euros for the entire packaging described. The link of the store is also in the description. And as final thoughts, this is a thin automatic watch with a world timer complication, a strong vintage appeal and an impressive story behind. And in one sentence I describe the characteristics of a brave beater. And yes, I'm pretty confident that the Tissot Heritage Navigator Fleche d'Orient qualifies as a brave beater, taking the position number 24 in the Hall of Fame. Being personally impressed by the longevity of this world timer that kept its identity intact for almost 70 years. So I suggest you to go through the microsite and find out more about the story and the historical facts that led to what commercial aviation represents today. So many thanks to Albini Prassa for providing me the occasion to review this tribute watch that has strong roots with our Romanian culture. Also, if by any chance you are in Bucharest, you can visit their store and see the mini museum and connect better to the entire story. So hope you liked this video, and as usual, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing for future episodes, because I will always be here. And until next time, be brave but stay safe.